Hello scale modelers from YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you my build of a 1983 Porsche 911 Carrera Cabrio. The model kit is from Ceji, Revell, number 7245 in 1/25th scale. The kit comes in a rigid box with opening from the top, and the box art gives us a photo of a real car with the body painted in a metallic blue. On one side of the box, in addition to a brief history of the Porsche's cabriolets, and some photos of details of a real white car, the details that the kit provides are highlighted. A folding roof turned back, detailed interior with dashboard, distinctive floor pan and wheel suspension, as well as a detailed 6-cylinder flat engine, movable engine compartment cover, Porsche sports rims, and twin mirrors. On the other side of the box, we have an additional photo of the real white car, and a description, in multiple languages, of the kit characteristics, such as 1/25th scale, length of 17.2 centimeters, pictorial, multilingual instruction sheet, and kit suitable for ages over 10 years. There is also the indication of the Revell color paints to use, if we want to paint and detail the model as pictured on the box. This is an old kit, as it was issued in 1983. I got this kit in second hand. It was already partially assembled, and the body painted, but also with some parts broken, like the front suspension. Unlike the body, all parts already assembled, loose or still on the sprues were not painted. And the decals, only with license plates, were too yellow, so I didn't use them. But, following the steps indicated in the instructions manual, let's see my building process. Prior to start building the kit, I disassemble all the parts that I could, to paint the details, and strip the paint from the body. The paint of the body was not bad, but I didn't have the same paint as the one that was used before, to paint the engine compartment cover that was not painted. Another reason was the fact that the body had two big mold lines that I had to erase on the front fenders. Therefore, I preferred to remove all the paint from the main body. The first 3 steps of the instructions are to build the interior of the car. Starting with the dashboard, I painted it, as well as the steering wheel, with semi-gloss black, and dry brushed slightly with silver the lower panel, to highlight the details. For the gauges, I copied and printed a decal from another Porsche 911 kit that I have in my stash. I decided to make a two-tone interior, black and light sand. So, I first painted all the chassis and interior parts with black primer, then I masked and painted with light sand the areas that I wanted. I covered the floor and the back side of the rear seats with beige flocking to give them a carpet look. The door panels were also painted with semi-gloss black and light sand with some silver details. The shift lever and handbrake were installed, as well as the front seats, after painted them with light sand. I didn't install the seat belts, but scratch-built the seat belt locks for the interior side of the front seats. The steps 4, 5, 6, and 7 to build the front suspension and the engine, as well as the steps 8 and 9 to build the rear suspension and the wheels, are the subassembles of the chassis components. Some of the front suspension components were broken. Therefore, I had to repair them, and made new supports to fix the suspension arms to the interior fenders of the chassis. The front disc brakes were painted with silver. The engine was one of the components that was initially already assembled, but not painted. Therefore, I disassembled all the parts, and before reassembling, I paint them separately, with different metallic tones and colors, to have more contrast between the different parts. After that, I also black washed it, with Tamiya panel line accent color, to highlight the details. After assembling the engine into the chassis, I installed the shock absorbers, that were previously painted with red and silver. The rear disc brakes were painted with silver. For the wheels, I painted the rims with semi-gloss black, and with the external area painted with silver. The steps 10 to 13, as well as the steps 14 and 15, deal with the body of the car and the final assemblies. As I said at the beginning, I stripped the paint from the body to sand and smooth the mold lines. So, after that, I painted it with black primer. Then, I masked the black areas that I wanted to keep black and painted the body with light gunmetal, TS42, from Tamiya. I painted the turn signals on each side of the body with clear orange, and black washed the panel lines of the doors, of the hood, and of the fuel tank cap. After the paint has cured well, I clear coated the body with gloss varnish, but with the folding roof still covered, to keep this area flat black. The original triangular side windows were missing in the kit. Therefore, I used 2 side windows from my parts box, and I cut them and adapted them to make these quarter glass windows. I also assembled all the rest of the elements of the body, like the side mirrors, clear parts, windshield wipers, sun visors, and door handles. As the decal sheet from this kit didn't have the Porsche symbol for the front, I copied and printed a decal from another Porsche 911 kit that I have in my stash. For the folding roof clasps, I used pin heads, and from my decals box, I used license plates for the front and rear. For the Porsche lettering of the taillight, I used a photo from a real car, and printed it with the necessary size for the model kit, and placed it behind the taillight center glass. Finished the building process, let's see the result. In my opinion, this kit can be considered a simple build. My main difficulty was with the front wheels and getting them right with the height, because I didn't want to have a big gap between the wheels and the front fenders. But this was also due to the fact that they were broken, and I had to redo the supports. The rest was easily assembled, and taking into account that it is an old tooling kit, issued in 1983, I'm happy how it turned out. I hope you also like it, and stay tuned, because I will have some static photos of the kit at the end. The story of the Porsche Cabriolets dates back to 1949. The boom with this type of sports vehicle started in 1952 with the Type 356A and its special speedster version for the US market. Over the years, the convertibles were regularly updated in parallel with other models. 1981 saw the introduction of the 911 SE model, which was subsequently renamed Carrera at the end of 1983, when it received a modified engine, a 6-cylinder flat engine with 3,200 cubic centimeters, power rating 231 HP, and a maximum speed of 240 km per hour. The Porsche Cabriolet is still one of the most beautiful and most attractive cars on our roads. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all my subscribers. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below with any question or feedback. See you in the next video.